מתגוררים במחנה אוהלים מאולתר ליד העיר קלה בצרפת. מכאן הם מנסים להתגנב במשאיות דרך מנהרת התעלה כדי להגיע אל בריטניה. מתחם המגורים המאולתר הזה כבר זכה לכינוי או לשם הג'ונגל. העיתונאי הבריטי מתיו טיילור מן הגרדיאן מתאר את הווי החיים של המתגוררים בג'ונגל ליד קלה.
بالشاحنات ما عم ننفض كل ساعة عم يلقطونا. كنا بسوريا لما ماتوا كل الناس أمي جابتني مشان تعالج إجري.
شايف؟ هذا من حرب ما؟
من سوريا. كنت عم بلعب برا اجاني الجيش قال لي تعال اشتري لك شيء. رحت خطفوني داسوا علي بالسيارة. ما بعرف شو بدي اقول له انا ضايعة هون مع امي.
We've got to do more to make sure that Britain is a less easy place for illegal migrants to come to.
But away from the motorways and port, something different is happening in Calais. The new migrant camp is growing fast and becoming permanent. Those living here are part of Europe's growing refugee crisis. Huge numbers of people fleeing poverty and conflict. Now they face a new challenge.
والله هناك ودينا المطبخ بياكلوا في النماء بيسووا لك طيب واكلهم هنا. قلت لك الدجاج زي الورق هذه وجبة واحدة في اليوم. سوينا الحمام هنا ممكن يصوره.
Fadl was a student in Sudan but was forced to flee in 2011. After years stuck in Libya, he arrived in the jungle 6 months ago.
حتى الحبوب بتاعت البنادول الصداع دي ممكن نتبادلها. بآلات الطباخة. ممكن آلات الطباخة. بالشيء ده يشيل الموس من هنا تمشي من هنا. ده يشيل الكمشة دي يقضي بيها حوجته ويجيبها.
No one is counting how many people live here, but most agree it's at least 3,000. People arrive every day, and each time we come back, the jungle feels more and more permanent. Conditions here are hard, but everywhere there are signs of a community striving to create something like a normal life. Cafes and food shops have opened. Spotting a demand for bicycles, a friend of Fadl's, who is a car mechanic in Sudan, has set up the camp's own bike and rental repair service. This shack, built out of pallets, will soon be a school.
And here will be teacher table. Here we'll put one blackboard. You have window here. And we try our best, you know.
Many of those who flee Eritrea are Christians, and they have been persecuted because of their faith. In the jungle, they are building a church.
You need sometimes some quality time with yourself, you know. You can come here, you can read, you can pray, you can think. So you are fresh mind and it will be easy for you. Because this is your God house, can be anywhere.
David's family left Eritrea after his father died and spent years as a refugee in Sudan. His life there was so desperate, he set out for the UK, leaving his 2-year-old son behind.
I want to bring him if I can. And I want to be a good father for him. It's hard, it's very hard. But thanks to God, I am still happy and alive.
Even as the camp becomes permanent, in the jungle, everything is transient. It seems that the word has got around camp that there's a traffic jam building on the motorway that runs across the top of the camp. And it's caused quite a lot of interest. A lot of the people are now moving up towards the lorries to see if they can get on the back. Migrants regularly complain about heavy-handed treatment by the police. Officers frequently use pepper spray. And funded with millions of pounds of British money, the authorities' other main response is to step up security. Yesterday we were here and there were groups of migrants intermittently running up this bank from the camp, trying to get past the police, onto the motorway and onto the back of lorries. Today we've come back and we found that the authorities are hastily erecting what looks like a fairly intimidating fence. It's going to run presumably from where you can see now all the way along here up the side of the motorway, closing off the camp with barbed wire along the top of it. Obviously the idea is to try and stop migrants getting up this bank and onto the motorway and onto the lorries. For those that are trying to get to Britain, it's a big night. At the entrance to the Eurotunnel, the queues of trucks are still backed up after strikes closed the terminal. It's quite a strange scene that we've got down here in front of us. There are scores of migrants trying to get on the back of these lorries that are queuing for the Eurotunnel. There are lorry drivers getting quite irate, coming out to stop them. There are police getting involved. I've never really seen anything like it on the approach to the Eurotunnel. Why do you want to go to the UK?
Education,
Yeah.
freedom, work.
Britain still takes fewer asylum seekers than most other large European countries. Nobody knows how many people have got through in the past 6 weeks and how many will claim asylum. But we do know that on nights like this, more than 1,000 people a night are being stopped.
Today, 2 times, and the police get out.
You try again?
I try again.
We come back to Calais for a third trip 2 weeks later. The fence between the motorway and the jungle is now complete. Another way out closed off. But migrants are still arriving. This is when we meet 8-year-old Khalid, the Syrian boy with a badly injured leg. He had just arrived with his mother.
نحن هذا رابع يوم.
لعند البابا فين؟
بابا؟
ايه
مات. أهلاً. هذا صاحبي.
3 years ago, Khalid and his mother fled their home city of Aleppo, which has been devastated by the war. Since then, they have moved from country to country, trying to find somewhere to settle and to get treatment for Khalid's leg.
طبعا أول ما فتت استغربت من الوضع إنه عايشين بالغابة قطعنا أخطر من هيك. عندي أمل وثقة بالله كبيرة إنه الله ينجي هالولد.
The mood around the camp, though, is gloomy. Word is spreading that several people have died trying to get onto trains and lorries. Fadil, still waiting for news of his asylum claim, is worried about the risks people are taking.
الناس جايه متامله وفجاه تفاجات بواقع بقى هم عليها. ما فيش اي يعني حاجه، حتى الناس بقت الهم همين. الاسبوع اللي فات هذا في واحد توفى لقيته مكتوب هنا، وفي ناس معوقه وناس مجرحه، حتى في ناس في المستشفى وفي ناس ما في حد شافهم.
We've been told that there's a part of the cemetery where migrants are buried if their families or friends can't afford to get their bodies home. And then about 10 minutes ago we were told that there's been a baby, an unborn baby that died when its mother fell off a lorry a few days ago, and she had a miscarriage. The mother has disappeared, and only 2 officials and 2 gravediggers are present. We were asked not to film the burial. Samir was one of at least 6 who have died in recent weeks. We arrive back at the camp and find Khalid's tent empty. By chance, we catch up with them as they're setting off.
Thanks.
They have a 2-hour walk to the Eurotunnel terminal. Then they have to avoid police and try and break into a lorry or jump onto a moving train.
Khalid dream after 3 years dream in the UK.
And why UK, Khalid?
ليش بريطانيا ماما؟
My school and my passport and my nationality and to make my leg. I love so much UK.
حلمي يعني حلمي إني أنا أشوف ابني عم يمشي منيح ورجله ما فيها تشوه وقاعد بمدرسته ومارس حياته الطبيعية.
حاسس بس شو بدي أفكر، عم بلاقي الشحنات اللي عم تروح بريطانيا بفكر عم تنفض الناس ما عم تنفض.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Take care. Other people in their group had become nervous and we were asked to stop filming. You've got to wish him good luck, I suppose, haven't you? It's a lot to ask of a little boy to go walk 2 hours and then trying to get on a moving train. Fadil, meanwhile, is going to school. The shack we saw on our first visit is now a fully kitted out classroom, and teachers have come from local schools to volunteer.
Je suis à Calais. Librairie. Voilà. Je suis perdu, indiquez-moi le chemin. Je suis perdu. Perdu. Oui, je suis perdu.
والله كبداية كويسة ما بطالة.
The church is also almost complete. We ask around for David, but people say he's gone. Khaled and his mother, though, had to abandon their attempt. His leg was hurting too much to walk any further.
صار يبكي ويقول خلص أنا ما عاد بدي تعبت صار كم ليش هيك بريطانيا وبدي أشتكي وبدي أشتكي للملكة وأقول للملكة تبع بريطانيا ومن هذا الحكي كتير تأزمت نفسيته.
Khaled and his mother are stuck in a familiar trap. They've been told those Syrians who do make it to Britain are granted asylum. The challenge is how to get there.
ما أصلاً هن عم بيسكروا كل الطرق. يعني هن already بدهم يانا وبيرحبوا فينا بس بنفس الوقت ما بيخلونا نوصل بسهولة.